Woman Expressed, because this world needs women unafraid of their own magic. Welcome to the show, where we explore what it means to be a fully expressed woman, a woman aligned with her desires and dreams, a woman who knows her potential is well within reach. Here, magic happens. What is up, beautiful humans? Welcome back to another episode of the Woman Expressed podcast. As always, stoked to be here with you today. Excited to share some new things that have been on my heart these last few weeks. And yeah, it's juicy. But before we dive into any of the goods, I want to just give a little heart share update, because why else am I here if not to yap about what's going on in my world? I am in my Saturn return right now, and I'm not an astrology girly in the slightest. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm an Aquarius, and apparently it's very Aquarius of me that I've been listening to my friends talk about astrology in depth for probably 15 years of my life, and I can't remember a fucking thing about it. Like, literally, it just does not stick in my brain. I can't remember anything. And so I appreciate it and respect it and understand that there's probably a lot of magic in it, but it's not my thing. Anyways, I do recognize that there's a potency to it in understanding this architecture of how we exist and how we move and how we dance with the world and with its inhabitants. And so obviously Saturn return is like that one that you hear about constantly around 28, 29 years old, where Saturn returns to the house it was in when you were born, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe it was Aries for me. And so I've never wanted to subscribe to the belief that my Saturn return will be hard and everything's going to crumble. And a lot of people talk about it like it's this destructive period. And, you know, I resonate with the destruction of all that is not truly you. So I get it, but I've never resonated with like, my life is going to be so hard. And with that, I have been curious about what happens in this time period, because it has interestingly enough been a difficult time for me, a pretty challenging time for me around my creativity and my inspiration and boundaries and having hard conversations with people and loose threads and a lot of things happening in a lot of places and questioning my alignment and yada, yada, yada. All of the above has been here and present and happening. And apparently my Saturn return is a lot around creativity. And so I've been navigating what it means to be a creator who isn't necessarily the most connected to her creative expression as she has been before. Not in the sense of disconnected from expressing, because that's easy for me. It has been easy for me for many years now. Wasn't always the case, but for many years it's been like breathing to share. But around what it is I'm creating and discerning between the identity I've created with this brand and who I actually am. Because the identity I've created with this brand is pretty damn accurate to me. Like it's been a non-negotiable to be as authentic as possible. But I've really associated with this, branding mentor and marketing and content and social media, and full transparency. Sometimes it's hard for me. Sometimes I don't want to be online. Sometimes I want to throw my phone into the fucking ocean and never see it again. And I also have always felt this way since the beginning of deciding to embark on this specific journey of working with women on their brands. I've always known social media was this nuanced piece for me. Equal parts immeasurably powerful, equal parts immeasurably daunting and disconnecting and draining and soul-sucking. And so obviously pick your battle in all facets of life. Pick your poison, There's the consumptive route and the creative route, and we have a choice to be creators instead of consumers in this realm. And obviously that's what I'm doing here and what I'm teaching. But I wonder sometimes if nobody was looking, if no money was involved, if nothing about anything I was doing was relevant whatsoever, and I was just me and my camera for the sake of creation, what would I be creating? And I haven't thought about it for a while because, this is my business as well. And I love what I do. And I love the women I work with. And every single woman I work with knows this about me, because I'm not going to pretend to be some leader who's perfectly poised and has no problems. Like, if you're in my spaces, I'm so vulnerable. I'm so honest. I'm real as fuck, because how are we going to get anywhere if we're not honest, truly honest about where we're at and what we're dealing with? And, I never want to be like, you guys are going through this and I'm not, because I've navigated everything so perfectly. It's like, hey, I'm actually going through the same things, and maybe I have a different amount of followers than you, or I'm making more money, or maybe not. But, if these things are the case, it doesn't mean I'm not going through the same experiences in my own unique packaged version. So I just want to say, if you're going through it, I'm with you. It's a weird time. I feel like I'm on this precipice. I'm leaving for Europe in 2 weeks, and I know I'm going to be in such beautiful locations with my girlfriends who are creators at festivals on my creative residency, deeply inspired in locations I'm deeply inspired by. But right now I'm in Long Island, New York, at my parents' house, because I'm going on vacation with them next week. And I love it here, and I'm so grateful, obviously, but I'm not inspired. And I think I said this last week, if I'm not mistaken. Such is life. I'm not so inspired here, but alas, we get on the freaking mic and we talk, because inspired or not, I'm really good at yapping. I'm really good at talking. So I'm just going to yap about whatever it is and remind you all that creative ruts are normal. Disconnection from your inspiration is normal, but what's not normal is sinking, sulking, staying in it, not taking action, not getting yourself out of your comfort zone, not putting yourself in environments where you do become inspired, not practicing the practices and following the tools and utilizing whatever resources you have in your life, be it internally with your body, be it externally at your yoga studio or with your friends or your therapist or whoever. We can't let that fly. We are in charge of our circumstances, how we respond to what happens to us in life, how we move through hardship, how we move through different environments and experiences. So move. I'm going to move as well. And yeah, I think a really important piece of my work that's been on my heart that I wanted to touch on this week is that so often we are disconnected from our inspiration and our creativity and our power and our magic because we are trying to create for the wrong people, that we are trying to create for the desire to be understood, the desire to be seen the right way, the desire to be accepted by the masses or to not be judged or perceived negatively. And often the people we are trying to be understood by are the people who are completely wrong for us. This can relate to your brand. This can relate to your business. This might just be in relationship, in human to human contact. If we are not really, really focused on who do I actually want in my life? Who am I actually interested in connecting with? Who do I actually hold weight towards around how they perceive me? We're, missing out on a lot of opportunity to let go of that which is not meant for us. And to me, the game of life is this constant letting go of that which is not meant for us. Because if you are creating for the sake of the male gaze or the gaze of the masses or the amount of likes you might get or how hot you might look, which, get it, girl, like, we love a good thirst trap. Not saying you can't do these things, but if these are the main reasons why you're showing up and you are not connecting to that which is beyond the surface level shit, how does this make me feel? Am I connected to my dharma? Am I passionate? Does this light me up? Am I being of service? Is this helping somebody? Then often we get stuck in these comparison cages, in these insecurity cages, in these attachment to the number cages, and all of these cages fucking suck, if I'm being honest. They're not fun. They're not always easy to get out of. They suck all the magic out of life. And so you need to understand who it is you're creating for and make sure that the people you are creating for in general are people you genuinely give a fuck about. There is so much nonsense going on in this world right now. People denying themselves their expression, people caging themselves, people deeply afraid of being seen, putting on so many masks that they forget who they are, all in the name of being more likable or understood. But the beauty and the hardship and the truth is that No matter how many layers of masks you wear, people are going to judge you. So you might as well be yourself and figure out who you actually are, who you actually want to be, who you actually enjoy sharing your life with. Like, could you imagine trying so hard to please friends you don't even like? Who you know deep down you do not even resonate with anymore? Who you know couldn't possibly understand the depths of you, yet you cage yourself and you make yourself small and you deny yourself and you hide to appease them? What's the point? I genuinely want you to ask yourself, what's the point? Think of the long term. Think of how many years you have in your life. How many of those years are going to be spent in your youth before you make decisions like buying a home and settling down and getting married and having children and taking on that next layer of reality? Maybe you've already done those things. This is still relevant, but especially if you're like in the youthfulness of like, you haven't made any massive major life decisions yet, this is the time for you to take a step back and ask yourself, what the fuck do I actually want? Who do I actually want to be? What do I actually want to spend my time doing? Because, gosh, I can't stand the concept of people in general wasting their time doing things that don't make them happy, disconnecting themselves from their inspiration and their joy because they're following what someone else wants them to do or wants them to be. Even if it's your parents, even if it's your best friend of 15 years, even if it's the people you feel closest to right now because you don't know another way yet, if it's not deeply aligned with the fullness of who you be, you have to be willing to let it go. And you have to stop spending your time caring for and creating for and making space for people, places, situations, experiences, dynamics that do not serve the version of you that's completely in love with themselves and their life, that's completely connected to their creative channel, that's completely enlivened by every fucking thing that they're doing. And when I say completely enlivened by everything they're doing, that doesn't mean life isn't challenging. That doesn't mean you're not sobbing on the floor sometimes. That doesn't mean you're not getting angry or frustrated or overwhelmed. Because let me be the first one to tell you, doesn't matter how much of your dream life you're living, you're still a human. If you're watching this, you're probably a woman, which means you're emotional and you're hormonal and you're chaotic and you're messy. And why would we have it any other way? Why would we have it literally any other way than being in your full spectrum? So yeah, life's not going to be gorgeous and perfect all the time, but the more connected you are to your heart, to your truth, to your people, the better time we're going to have. The better time we are going to have. So just taking that into consideration when you take action in your daily life. When you take action in your daily life, what are you focused on? Is there this contraction in your body around how many likes is it going to get? Are they going to pay me? Is anyone going to like this? Am I worthy? Is it going to do well? How many followers am I going to get? Are they going to think I'm weird or cringe or crazy? If that is the constant running through your mind, we can ask ourselves, why? And is this serving me? Probably not. And on the other end of the spectrum, we can instead focus on, how does this feel in my body? How inspired am I? How excited am I? How enlivened am I by the choices I make today? There is so much magic waiting for you out in this world. Like, it is insane. The opportunity, the people, the places, the magic, it's all here, waiting for you to stop trying to be understood by people you genuinely wouldn't actually like to be friends with or know anyways. And we don't have endless amounts of time in this world. We don't know what we have except right now. And that gives us an immense amount of beautiful, sacred responsibility to use our time wisely, to use our precious breaths that we have in this beautiful human suit wisely. What else are we meant to do? If not to find out who we are. And the more you let yourself be you, the more you're going to attract fucking epic people. Epic people. Like, I feel so blessed in this season of my life with so many insanely cool beings in my life. And I know that I would not know them and they would not know me, and we would not be here if I was denying myself my own expression, hiding behind the masks I used to wear when I was in college, and I needed validation like I needed air. When you shift that sense of needing validation to validating yourself and needing to be understood, to understanding yourself, you in turn become a version of yourself that carries a frequency that attracts the right people to your life. Everything's energy. If we're talking about frequency, literally, like the waves of frequency are either resonant or dissonant, just like in music. When you strum a guitar on a correct chord, like a C chord, it's a beautiful sound. And if you put one finger in the wrong place, it's coming out weird. Or if you don't press down hard enough, it's coming out dissonant. And that's because frequency operates in resonance versus dissonance, and waves are compatible or incompatible. Humans, made up of waves, are compatible or incompatible. And you won't even know who you're compatible with truly if you don't let yourself uncover who you actually are internally. You might be hanging out with people who are on completely different frequencies and wavelengths that you wouldn't resonate with if you let yourself be you. But you stay in situations and in relationship and in connection that is depleting you, diminishing your strength and power and magic and beauty, diminishing your essence, your uniqueness, your full spectrum power, because it's comfortable, or you're afraid, or you're used to it, or you've settled. And you have an opportunity here to do a self-inquiry around, is this still aligned with who I am? Is this the right situation, environment, human being for me? Am I operating from a place that's inspiring me or not? The choice is yours. You can do this. It's hard. It's not easy. And this is a good hard. This is a beautiful hard. It's a hard that lets you face yourself and experience yourself and meet the messiness instead of just cruising through life on autopilot and never actually uncovering who you are and what you're capable of. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Obviously, you are under no obligation to do anything or be anyone you don't want to be. You are under no obligation to listen to a word I say. You might think this bitch is crazy, and that's fine. I welcome that because I'm being true to me and I'm cool with me. And that's my goal for you. That's why we're here. That's why we're vibing today. I want you to be cool with you. Before anyone or anything else, are you cool with who you are? Are you accepting of who you are? Oh my God. I watched Heated Rivalry last night, pretty much finished the whole series. I'm a binger. And if you haven't seen it, yum, cute, crying, sobbing, freaking out. And the entire essence of this show was this poor human, these two sweet men being so disconnected from their true expression, from their true hearts, from the way they love, because they're so afraid and stuck in dogma and afraid of how they'll be perceived. And it's this entire journey of them coming back to their hearts and to love over fear and to trusting that their bodies and their souls and their inner knowings and their intuitions and their hearts know better than the conditioning of their minds. And in the end, not to give anything away, but they find resonance because they let themselves be themselves. And if it's not like the most heartwarming feeling in the world, like my heart was fluttering, yes, because it was cute and sweet and delicious and adorable, but mostly because they found that resonance within themselves and they found their truth and let themselves choose love over fear, because meeting yourself and doing this work is literally an act of choosing love over fear over and over and over again. And I don't know if there's anything in this world more important than choosing love over fear. And that's where I'm going to leave you today. Love over fear. A couple exciting announcements if you want to partake in my universe right now. First, couple spots left for our Muse Collective Creative Residency in Italy, July 13th to 18th. If you want to come bask in creative expression alongside a group of epic women on the Mediterranean in Italy, nourished by Italian nonas, workshopping on the voice, the body, the breath, creative expression, writing, singing, dancing, moving, painting, remembering who you are, becoming a leader, embodying your artistry and your inner muse. This is for you. We have payment plans available in a couple spots. DM me on Instagram at Emma Marshall if you want to join. And amazing news, we just opened the doors to Soma Club. It's a $33 a month membership inside my free community, the Embodied Creator Circle. If you join the free community, you can then purchase the $33 a month bonus membership where you get to join me monthly for a somatic embodied practice, overcoming creative blocks, specifically being seen, overcoming the fear of judgment, embodying a regulated leadership state, embodied creativity, magnetism, tapping into your power, overcoming procrastination, fear of your potential. We'll work through a specific block around your creative expression each month. There's also a community chat, a daily practice, and resources for you. It's going to be a vibe. I would love to have you. I'll link the Embodied Creator Circle in the show notes if you want to join us. But thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. Have a beautiful day.